All right, let's do some disassembly. It's turning. All right. The more I look at this vehicle, the more I look at the metal pieces that are attached throughout the vehicle, I realize that they're all gonna have to come out. Everything is rusted like this, and this one isn't too bad. This one is actually, I put the 10mm socket on it and turned it, and it's actually turning and not bending the light bracket on the other side of it. The side over there I don't know about. To do this right, I really have to take the body off. Every single nut bolt stud has to come off and has to get replaced with stainless or something. There's some metal pieces in the bonnet area that are just too far gone, and I'm gonna have to either refabricate them or find them online. But I figured what I would do is just start from the front of the car, which is where I am now, in the headlamp wall, and remove stuff moving backwards to the point where by the time I get to the back of the vehicle, the body should be able to lift off relatively straightforward. I've seen enough videos of it on YouTube, and I have the manual, so I think I don't think it'll be too bad. But there's a lot between now and then that could be problematic with the amount of rust that this car has on it. So here we go. Jesus. That thing just disintegrated on me. I don't think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use a Dremel with a die grinder on it to remove this. I don't know how much of this is gonna be savable. Water line was there, so maybe these motors will work. Hook it up to a 12-volt battery and see if I can get them to actuate. Yeah, just see if I can weld that or find this plate. That's what's left of the base of this thing. Just went to Walmart to get more storage bins. You can see when they painted it, they just taped around stuff. Lotus red, original. I don't know what this is. It's gotta be, it's obviously some kind of modular sensor, but I'm happy to say it was above the water line. That's good. All right, so there's one of the bolts holding the body to the rolling chassis. Obviously, there's one over there to match it. Just lots of debris with this. I mean, I'm thankful that Lotus did the body in fiberglass resin, because it would have rotted out by now if it wasn't. Oh boy. Just everything that's, all the fasteners, they really used a low-grade fastener, I think, because all the fasteners are just really bad. Oh well. Onward and upward. End of this light is magnetic. This will help me pick up any screws that I may have dropped. Bolt head. Washer. Oh. Again, thankful that Lotus did this in fiberglass, because this is all going to clean up just nice, very nice, and then get repainted the right way. So yeah, little by little. Mental note for later: the I don't know what color that is, orange and blue wire goes to the top of this sensor. Orange and blue to the top, and solid orange to the bottom and the top. That's how it reads. That's the bottom. Orange and blue to the top. Okay. See the oil coolers, at least on this side. Looks like there's zero chance that's gonna come off intact. It's so corroded. Okay, this front nose, this front bumper has 5-10mm nuts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's one of the first things to take off for the bumper, but I know there's 3 underneath. And to get those off, you have to take the lower balance off. And then what everybody says is the hard part is 2 inside here, and probably only achievable if you've got little hands, and I don't have little hands, so I'm gonna have to get some slave labor, i.e. my nephew over here, have me help him with this. This is all rusty, but it's solid otherwise, so this will get maybe powder coated. Maybe we'll get it blasted and powder coated. You never see it, but you might as well make it look nice if you did see it. All right, good news. So there's 5 10mm bolts that tie this bumper to this piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from videos online, everybody said this was a really awful job. The 5 nuts that are on here, they're all captive. The bolts are captive, so I was able to turn each one of them with a 10mm wrench without a problem, so that's good. That means those are going to come off relatively nicely. I still have to go underneath and figure out how to pull this off. I think it'll come off with the bumper, I'm not sure, but I do know from the video from Lucor Automotive that I saw online, they referenced 3 bolts going up that I have to get off, and then of course there's the 2 on the sides that are problematic for people with big hands. I actually spray them with some PB Blast and let them sit, just so I don't get any problems the entire travel length of the nut as it comes off that stud. I'm not sure how much PB Blast really helps, but I know it doesn't hurt, so. Okay. Let's see what's underneath. All right, so this is where I need a lift. Trying to work under a car this low to the ground without a lift is futile, just about. And I'm not really crazy about having to jack it back up and put it on blocks. Maybe I bite the bullet and buy a two-post lift, install it somewhere in the yard. A little white trashy. Maybe I'll take a look at the quick jack. That might be the way to go for now. Yeah, I'll read on the forums. I know people have used quick jacks on Esprits or on Evoras before. Let's see if they've used them on Esprits. I'll take some measurements to make sure it'll fit, but I'm not going to try to take this off until it's on a lift. It's just not going to happen. what I can take off are these lenses. Yeah, these are gonna get stainless steel screws. Not dealing with this crap again. Definitely gonna go with stainless next time. Sweet. That lens is in great. The gasket's bad, but the lens itself is in great shape. That's what we like to see. Save these little gaskets. Alright, now I imagine to get this off, this has to come down, because there's no way. Wait a minute, unless I can get it from inside. It's got to be held on in the back by two nuts holding it in there. Problem is, I don't think I can get to it from it. Yeah, I'm not getting to it from inside, so gotta imagine this has to come off first. That's gonna be the problem, is anything that was submerged, it's just not gonna come off. They just turn, which means whatever they're in is turning with them. I wonder if I put a bit of pressure on it, if it'll come out. Just got PB blast in the eye. More bulbs. Really curious to see if these things work. You can see that's got a bit of water in it. How on earth does water get into this thing? I'm very thankful that the wiring harness looks good. Doesn't mean that the connectors aren't corroded, but there's ways to clean those up. But the wiring harness itself looks decent. These go here, so I remember where they went. What's the likelihood of these coming off? Anyway, I'm not getting this headlight motor out until this power ABS unit. I'm assuming that's what this is, till this ABS unit comes out. And I read online that you've got to depressurize this first by stepping on the brake pedal a few times until it becomes hard. And then in theory, you should be able to take it out. And this has to come out, as well as that. That's all going to be a problem. I'll figure it out. So this I could disconnect, but where's... How do I disconnect the electrical? Oh, there it is. All right, before I cut it, there's a zip tie going around, which holds the wiring harness to the unit itself. Let me go get an 11 millimeter brake line wrench. Let's see if we can take that out. The heavy gauge wires go to the connector with the blue wire. Heavy gauge goes to the connector with the blue wire. The lighter gauge go to the side, the other side. All right, now to depress the brake pedal a few times to supposedly relieve any pressure that's built up in this. And while we're doing that, let's let this start soaking. That did something. That did something, and I'm guessing whatever it is not good. I can hear the fluid. It's not leaking. I don't know if you could hear that on the camera, but when I stepped on those brakes, there was the sound of fluid squirting somewhere. Well, apparently there's still some pressure in here because I don't know if you can see that, but the brake fluid's pouring out of it. I really don't want to get that on the paint. Yeah, it's going to get repainted anyway, but I'm a little nervous. This has danger written all over it. Literally, like they've scrawled the word danger, high pressure, all over it. And what I found online to depressurize it was to step on the brake pedal a few times. I've done that, but I'm still getting fluid squirting out of this thing, but a lot less now. Hopefully this isn't going to come flying off. Yeah, I'm not really feeling good about that. So let me go back to taking it off. That makes sense. I'm also not crazy with the amount of brake fluid. That's, oh, because we're still full. Damn. All right. So I take the brake cover off. There's two reservoirs, and the one that's milky clearly has water in it, which is probably what I heard when I was stepping on the brake. Brake fluid and paint, car paint, automotive paint, don't mix well. So I've got to get I've got a pump syringe to pull this fluid out. Yeah, let me suck the fluid out, and then maybe I can have less concern over removing that fitting and having brake fluid spray everywhere. All right, let's see what comes out of here. Still too much pressure here. Try pumping the brake. All right, that pedal's not going anywhere. It's hard as a rock. I know it moved a little bit, but there should not be pressure in this. There we go. And last is this guy. Let's put you back in there for the moment. There we go. Ooh, there's more fluid. Let's get you out. All right. I'll wash my hands, get the brake fluid off of it. Close you back up. All right. Now I can get to the headlight motor. Yes. So I didn't have to undo any screws on this one because they just rotted away. Ooh boy, that's getting replaced. Oh boy. The The one on that side was not submersed in water for 4 or 5 years. This one clearly was. It's toast. Toast. Oh well. Wow. The amount of work this thing is going to need is just amazing. It's so much. This had water in the front trunk for years. Well, I don't know what years. When I got it, it had water in it. I drained it out. So these bolts, any bolts that are in the body running to the chassis, if they were, especially on this side, they're just rotted, really rusty. Should be interesting to try to get those off. I think they're just gonna have to get cut off and then easied out. All right. So the plan again is to just start from the front and work my way back, removing everything, including the glass. I know people are gonna cringe at that. That's an original glass and it's not broken, and I like to keep it that way. But you can see that these are all, it's all dry rotted. So at some point I will buy, there's a tool that professionals can use. You basically fish a string under it, between it, and then you use a crank to pull the string along the bead and separate the windshield. So that's going to happen probably before I take the body off, because I don't want it flexing and potentially breaking that, although it shouldn't. These are pretty rigid. But yeah, that's, everything is going to come off, because everything has to come off, because everything is really not in good shape. Anything above the waterline is fine. All this electrical, again, initially that looks good. I'm hoping there's not a lot of corrosion on these connectors. It's not as if these weren't underwater. Yeah, look at that. Those are good, and you could see the factory grease on them, which probably saved them to a bit. So I'm really happy about the electrical, probably because it's elevated slightly to be out of the water. Otherwise that would have been a nightmare. But so that's the plan. That's probably it for today. I gotta clean up. All this debris is from taking that bracket off that was right here. I'm hoping this whole loom has a set of disconnects somewhere under the dash, because I don't know how I'm going to pull the wires through. I don't want to disassemble it. Don't want to take it all apart. In fact, I absolutely will not take it all apart. Figure out something, but it's not coming apart. Hopefully can pull it through and then just clean this up, but restore all this. Yeah, quite the project. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.